Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is Sunday, January 30th, 2022, and today I wanted to continue on with the theme from some of my past videos of photography and photography equipment, specifically selling photography equipment, selling your used photography gear. So a few days ago I talked about my 3 least favorite lenses that are still in my camera bag. So I still have those ones. I still own them and I'm giving them another try for now. But the time will probably come, unless these lenses are able to change my mind, the time will probably come that I will want to sell them. So I have sold camera equipment in the past a few different ways, some of which have been more successful than others. So I wanted to share with you some of my experiences. And if you are trying to sell some of your old equipment, stuff you don't like anymore or can't use anymore, give these tips a try. So the first method of selling camera equipment that I wanted to talk about was Kijiji or Facebook. So I have not actually sold anything, well actually I've never sold anything on either platform. However, I have had stuff listed on a Facebook group, on a Facebook buying and selling group. I've never sold anything at all on Kijiji. And from what I have heard from people who sell regularly on Kijiji, you get a lot of messages from people who are not serious about the purchase, who are going to be problematic, who are just going to string you along and then cancel the sale at the very end, or scammers, or etc., etc., etc. So Kijiji I knew was not an option for me. I do not have any desire to respond to stupid messages of people, wanting, hey, can I have this lens for $10? Like, that's just a waste of my time. I value my time too much to spend it doing that. So that is Kijiji. However, I will say that if you are able to sell anything on Kijiji, that is probably where you will get the highest price for it. And similarly, if you sell something via Facebook Marketplace or through a Facebook buy and sell group, you'll probably get a higher price than the other ways I'm going to mention after. So I will give you the example of a lens that I recently sold, like very recently, like as of last week recently, which was the Tamron 70 to 180 millimeter f2.8 lens. So I mentioned in my favorite lenses video that the new Tamron 35 to 150 is my new go-to lens because it covers all of the focal ranges, more or less, that I like to shoot in. So I just bought this Tamron 70 to 180 a few months before the 35 to 150 was released. So unfortunately, I had to do something with the 70 to 180 because obviously I don't need that if I have the 35 to 150. I've already mentioned to you how much I hate switching lenses, if at all possible, so there was no need for me to keep it. So first place I went to was a buy and sell group on Facebook. I had priced my lens fairly high because it was in excellent quality. I take really good care of my stuff. I keep all the boxes and the original paperwork and receipts and everything, and I'd never used the lens hood. I don't really like using lens hoods just because I just don't like the size of them, and I know I should use the lens hood. So you should use your lens hood, but I don't like using them. So anyway, it was still in the box, unopened, unused. Anyway, so I tried to sell on this Facebook group, and I had some interest, but nobody was willing to pull the trigger. Somebody proposed a trade, somebody said, oh, once I get this lens, I'll be interested in that lens, and nothing happened. So I had my lens on there for a little while, and these were the only types of messages I got. One thing I will say also about this specific group is that there were a lot of active members, a lot of people posting things to sell. So eventually, after a few days, my post was buried underneath all these new posts. So that can be an issue. I think you can probably repost it if it doesn't sell so that it gets near the top again. But that's a little too high touch for me also, considering that the sale at the end is not guaranteed anyway. So there is that. And there is also the fact that your market, that your consumer base is very small because you're selling only to people who are in this group. So theoretically, this should be your target customer anyway, because these are people who are also interested in photography. If it's a local group like mine was, they're local, you can just meet up in person. But for me, it did not work out. So the second method of selling used equipment that I wanted to mention is via eBay. I smile because I have an eBay story for you. So I'll first mention some of the pros and cons about eBay. So pro is you reach a lot of people around the world. Also, it is quite simple if all goes well. If all goes well, you will post your item, someone will bid on it or make you an offer. You can accept an offer also. And then they will have purchased it. They send you the money via PayPal. You get a shipping sticker. So you just package it up, put the shipping label on, send it off, and all done, all good to go. So I have sold equipment this way in the past, and it has gone seamlessly. People were happy with the products that I sold. They left me good reviews, and I thought this was a very convenient way to sell stuff. One con I should mention about eBay though is that there is a fee. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it is called, the final value fee or something. And that I think is about 10% of what you sell your item for. So that can be pricey, especially 10% of a more expensive item is quite a lot of money that you're losing. But when things do not go as planned with eBay, it can be a huge pain in the butt and could potentially be very problematic for some reasons. So back to my Tamron 70 to 180 example. So after I failed to sell it on Facebook, I moved to eBay because as I'd mentioned, I'd had success selling things there in the past. So I had it on eBay. Someone agreed to buy it and paid me. I packaged it all up with all the original packaging, paperwork, everything, receipts, and shipped it off to them. And as far as I was concerned, okay, easy peasy, it's done. However, this person was not satisfied with the quality of the lens. Now, I'd used the lens twice, and I keep very good care of my stuff, and especially this lens because I didn't have many occasions to use it. So it was in pristine condition. This person just thought the autofocus was not as quick as it should have been, but I didn't make the lens. I sold it in the condition that I had purchased it in. But all a buyer needs to say on eBay is that the item was defective, and as a seller, you're required to accept the return. Now, eBay does say that the buyer should return the item in the exact condition they received it, and if they don't, there are numerous steps you can follow through eBay. So thankfully, my lens came back in good condition. It was okay. It was very stressful though because I had never had a return, and I knew that I had not sold anything that was faulty, that was not in perfect condition. But that is one thing to look out for on eBay. It is possible that you will not receive your item back in the condition that you sold it, and then you will have the stress of dealing with eBay with that. And of course, eBay is interested in keeping buyers happy and also sellers, but in my opinion, they favor the buyer more. So that would be tricky, and you would then lose whatever value of the lens was damaged or the equipment that you're selling. So eBay is not a perfect place to sell camera equipment either. Although it can be very successful, but hit or miss. So the last way of selling gear that I wanted to mention is via a camera store. So back to my Tamron 70 to 180. I first brought it to 2 local camera shops to get it appraised and see what they would offer me for it. So the first place, I dropped the lens off and they said they would appraise it, but they called me back a few hours later and said that they had talked to, before they'd even looked at the lens, they had talked to the, I don't know, appraisers, the people in charge of that, and they said that the lens was currently on sale for $1,500 less than its original price. So I never saw that. I looked on their website because I was like, that is too good to be true. And I feel like that's a lie. And not saying they lied, but. So the second camera store I brought it to did give me an appraisal, and it was lower than I was hoping for, but it was probably a fair-ish price. I know that the camera store would then turn around and resell it as used equipment, and they of course want to make a profit on it also. So I get that. It was, in hindsight, it was a fair offer, I think. But this was before I tried to sell my lens on Facebook and eBay. So I thought I could get a better price there. So how did I finally sell my lens? Well, I heard on a YouTube vlog that Adorama, which is a camera equipment company in the States, I think they're based on the East Coast somewhere, New York, New Jersey potentially, that they accept used equipment and they will pay you, or you can use it toward any of their products, new or used, and they will pay for shipping. So I thought I'd give it a try. So I got in touch with them, and the sales rep, person I talked to, he sent me the shipping information, and I was able to just bring it to my local UPS, and they had their account number and everything was fine. So I shipped my lens off. I actually sold another lens along with it that I had hoped to upgrade, and then I heard back from them with a quote for both lenses that seems pretty fair. It was sort of in keeping with what I had been expecting based on the quote from the first store I went to, the first camera store that I tried to sell my lens to. So that is how this story ends, is I am selling my lens and also an additional lens to Adorama. The main benefit to selling to a camera store or a camera company is that it is no fuss, no muss. You give them the equipment hopefully you keep your equipment in good shape too. Give it to them in the perfect condition. Keep all your packaging also. I think that matters in the price that you are able to sell for. So anyway, it is easy, but will you get the best price? Probably not. But if you are like me and you hate the process of selling and haggling and dealing with messages that are not important, I would recommend this way. It is how I will sell my camera gear from now on, probably either through Adorama or through this local camera company, just because I can't be bothered to go through the hoops and deal with people who might not have my best interests in mind, e.g. eBay buyer. So that is it for today, everybody. I just thought I would share some of the ways that I have sold camera equipment in the past, in case any of you are looking to sell your camera equipment, or if you are potentially looking to buy camera equipment. I have bought a lot of used equipment in the past. My camera itself is used. Several of my lenses are used. And depending on who you buy it from, it can be a really, really great bargain. I have typically bought my used equipment from that local camera company I mentioned, from B&H Photo. They're really good too. They're also out on the East Coast in the States. So that is it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you like this kind of video. Let me know if these tips are useful for you, or let me know if you have any other suggestions of how to sell used camera equipment. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.